Well, hello again. Happy Sunday. That sound you hear is not a leaf blower. That's my wife. No, I have no idea what that means. What that is the ground power unit, the GPU, which happens to be inconveniently situated right underneath our number 2 engine, so we end up starting up. We're going to actually start up number 1 first, so we don't slice and dice anybody. This, of course, let me wave the ailerons to you here. This is the mighty LES SAAB 340A in its 1.3 incarnation, soon to be updated. I am reliably informed, and we're going to fly today from Albany to Boston. Nice little short-haul route, sort of thing that this plane flies all the time. Actually, to be more accurate, this is sort of the kind of plane, the kind of route, forgive me, that Cape Air flies, believe it or not, in Cessna 404 Twins. I'm just going to kill this caution here. So we are basically going to be far classier than that. We're going to do it in the big turboprops. We are going to depart out of here on runway 19 and fly the only SID that comes out of here, which is the Albany 6 departure, and that basically consists of flying runway heading and then getting vectors onto your course. And so at the moment, let's just get our avionics on here to see if a couple keys I've bound work. Oh, look at that. So there's our little spotlight. That's going to be very, very good in the dark. Anyway, we're taking power. We'll turn our nav lights on, and we'll get our Garmin going here and watch our EHSI and other stuff come to life. And we'll just wait for the copyright messages, click OK, and now it will let us pop that sucker up. And I'm going to demonstrate for you the only way I know how to use the X-Plane Garmin with its twiddly knobs and all sorts of things, and still, let's try that in English, and still stay sane. And the way I stay sane is not by taking a flight plan here, and let me just delete the old one, not by taking a flight plan here and painstakingly enter it waypoint by waypoint, because in the fake one here with all the little knobs to twiddle, it's basically an exercise in water torture. It is really, truly awful. It is nightmarish. It is terrible. There's no way around it unless you've got a special controller, which they do make, that basically mimics all the knobs and things on here. But it's a pain in the ass. The other pain in the ass is that you cannot enter a SID and you cannot enter a star. Maybe the X-Plane people will work on that eventually. I think they have that in mind, and I think they're certainly aware of it, and it would not be a bad thing to do, considering that they already have approach procedures plugged in, and yet they're missing the most important thing, which is the thing that leads you to and from them. You can't fly RNAV, stars, or SIDs legally in the real world unless you have a GPS setup or an RNAV setup capable of doing them, and in this case you don't. But what we can do is we can do the next best thing. What we've done is we have taken a flight plan, we've built it in SkyVector. I can't show you because it'll screw up my replay. We've built it in SkyVector, and we've used the navlog feature of it. We've copied the entire navlog, pasted it into a utility at a website called X-Plane Tools and then spit out a flight plan, copied it into our X-Plane output flight plan directory, and we're going to import it. If you need to know how to do it, go on YouTube and find the username Brad Cathey, C-A-T-H-E-Y, and he has put it all together, and it works. So all you need to do once you've copied it into the correct folder in X-Plane is to do this. Go to Menu, and not go to Menu. Get that right. Right-click on here with the small knob, not the big one, and then find your flight plan in the catalog, and we've named it KALB-KBOS, or if you're frugal, Kilo Alpha Lima Bravo and Kilo Bravo Oscar Sierra. And to this day, it's the world's cheapest laugh. I don't even know if it's a laugh, it's just cheap. But you push the cursor, you diddle the knob like that, you hit enter, and now, bada bing bada boom, you've got a flight plan. Not a good flight plan, but a flight plan nonetheless. Try that again. Push the cursor. And don't do that. Nope. See what I mean? Clear. Push the cursor, use the big knob, and move through it. And just check to make sure that everything makes sense. And now that I'm looking at it, none of it makes sense, because if you look at it right here, it's saying we've got 4,000 miles to go, and then that's not correct. So now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go through every goddamned waypoint right here and re-enter it, but I'll show you how to do it. So, oh, I see what happened. I guess I see what happened. All right. The first intersection is group, and that's correct. No, it's not correct. There are two of them, that's why. Okay, so what we do is we kill group, and now we re-enter it. So, unfortunately, when you export it and import it, it doesn't know if there's an ambiguity, so now you do the agonizing thing. You go like this, and then like this. The other group waypoint was probably in Spain, so that's why you check your flight plan. Or, God, what a pain in the ass this is. Click, 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 click. Oh. UP US Northeast, and there's an other one here too, so that's probably what gave us the problem. So, enter, accept, and now it says on deck. Oh, for Christ's sake. Now it says on deck is 4,700 miles away. So clear on deck. Yes. J fund. Maybe that is the bad one. Clear J fund. Yes. Clear autumn. Oh, Christ. Clear winter. Clear Harris, clear Isla, clear. Well, okay, now we've got 135 miles away. Let's enter our flight plan. We will fly out to the intersection known as group, and that is correct. We will fly over to the intersection known as on deck, but if not, we'll use Gardner, which is the VOR, which is located next to it. And let's see what goes wrong now. So, click, many clicks on deck, US Northeast. Enter. Accept. Alright, and that's fine. Now that's a reasonable distance away. Alright, from on deck, we're going to go to our star. And our star is going to be the J Fund arrival. It's not technically appropriate for the plane we're flying because it's meant for a lot higher and a lot faster. But there's on deck. Go to J Fund. Luckily, at least it gives us a little bit of solace here in that it eliminates the choices that don't exist. So you're not scrolling through every letter in the alphabet. You're only scrolling through most of them. And if you can imagine this is tedious using a knob, imagine how tedious it is using a mouse wheel. Alright, so there we've got our star, and now let's go direct to Noli. That'll be our initial fix. And there we go. And sorry to subject you to this, but I figure you might as well learn how to do it along with me. Suffer with me. Share my pain. Share my joy. Share the birth of my firstborn that I know of. Crap. And I know this is a first world problem. It's like, okay, we can navigate anywhere to anywhere because of satellites in the sky. It's like there's a Louis C.K. routine in there somewhere. Noli, US Northeast. How do you like that? It actually exists. Alright, so now what I've got looks reasonably normal, and now I'm just going to plug in an approach, which it does have built in. And we'll do ILS. Do we have an ILS for 22? We must. I probably just skipped right over it in my zeal. 33, 27, 22 left. There we go. Hut, and transition Noli. Noli. Done. Back to the flight plan. Now it looks like a normal flight plan. And what we will do is we'll activate this leg. And now we should have a nice magenta line. Hold down the clear key. There's group. Let me just go back to our procedure and actually activate it. Not activate it, load it at least. Load, enter, done. Alright, now we are good to go. And again, the Albany 6 is basically just a climb over some obstacles and wait for them to give you vectors. And we're going to be flying runway heading, which is 191. So we will set heading mode here, and it is set. And we'll spin it around to 191. There we go. And that is set, and we will set our course to 194. I'm not sure why it wants 194, but we'll check again and keep it happy. You know what I think it thinks is, I think it thinks that that is runway heading, and it's probably because it's working on a different database than we are. Alright, anyway, we also don't want to be in. I just want to get rid of that. There we go. All right, we're gonna cruise today. It's going to be a short flight, so we will cruise today at 150, and we will hope and pray we get up to that altitude. The airplane is, as you know, a little bit piggish when it comes to climbing, but we'll humor it anyway. We'll give ourselves about that much in the way of passengers and plastic doggy duty, and we'll give ourselves, that's really all the fuel we need. Actually give ourselves less payload. It's not a popular flight, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so now that we've done that, let's get started. So we'll turn our beacon on. Actually, let's just quickly check our weather. ATIS here is standby for news. Alright, ATIS is 120.45. We'll get that set.
Albany INTL Information India. 1700 Zulu weather. Wind 180 at 8, visibility 10. Sky conditions 6,500 few, 12,000 few, 20,000 few, temperature 27, dew point 17. Altimeter 3008. Arriving and departing runway 19. Advise on initial contact, you have India.
Done. Okay, so 19, that confirms it. That tears it. Our our condition levers are set. Power levers are set. Let's recycle the hydraulics. All right. Bus tie is connected. Beacon is rotating. No smoking, no standing up, no farting. And let's start number 1 first. Well, actually, let's check to make sure we have enough juice to start. We're looking for, what, at least 25, and we've got it there on one battery and on the other, so we're good, and we've got external power, so that's good too. Let's recycle our bleeds, although we're going to have to do that again probably, and check everything else is as it should be. Arm our emergency lights. This is one of the few things you can guard even when it's in the wrong position. Normally you can't guard it unless it's in the right position. Anyway, turn our avionics off and get our asses started. Alright, check our temps. That's fine. And check our turbine rotation, and it is rising. Check our fuel flow, and it is normal. And our oil pressure in a second will rise up. No spikes in temp, no hot start. All right, that is good. And we are starting up. Oh, why our beacon? Ah, there, our beacon is on. It's just small and insignificant. All right, so we'll check to make sure we got a good start, and we got ignition cutout, and now we got props. And we will turn on our left gen. Reset it, hold it, let it go. Check and see whether we've got volts coming out of there. And we do. So we can turn off our external power and get rid of our GPU. Boom. And we can start number 2. Good sounding airplane, isn't it? All right. We got a clean start on a numero uno, so we're going to advance the condition levers first to unfeather and let them come up and let them stabilize. And they're going to give a little bounce off the prop governor. There we go. We got starter cut out on number 2. So up can come number 2. And now we're going to advance number 1 to unfeather. And we're going to do the same to number 2. Okay, up it comes. Let's take off flaps, set our trim. Give us a little nose up trim here. Alright, get our air conditioning a little bit chillier. Turn on our standby pitot heat. All the other heats come on automatically. Alright. Bring our right gens online. Gonna hold that. Give ourselves a little bit of lighting here. Turn on our inverters. Check our voltages again. Okay, that's our right gen. That is our left gen. And external power is off, so that is good. Let's turn that on here so we can see what's going on. Turn on our taxi light. Turn on our avionics. Alrighty. Let's turn our transponder to altitude. Be nice to be able to squawk something here. Okay. Can I get a transponder? Can I get a squawk code? Are our avionics on? They are indeed. Ah, there we go. Okay. Alright. 2249, and we'll squawk altitude. Alright. We will see that we're in nav source for the left. Heading mode. Actually, we're not going to climb in VS mode. We're going to climb in what's called a climb mode, and we will dick around with that shortly. Reset our bleeds. Just for superstition's sake, reset our gens. Okay. Set our AC a little bit here. There we go. Alright. Check our center warning panel. That is good. Check to make sure we still have a course, and we do, and that is good. Alright. Let's see what kind of nav aids we want to play around with. I'm just looking down at my iPad, and trust me, as soon as I get everything worked out here, I'm no longer going to be dicking around with this. You'll be able to see it on the screen. Alright, there really is no nav aid of any consequence that we are really going to be needing except for Gardner, which is 110.6. We'll slap that in there. And we will be using approximately coming in on about the 1111 radial, give or take. Actually 070, 080, 09. Yeah, about 090 for the radial. Just going to turn this off for 1 second. Turn on 090 for the radial. Actually, you know what we ought to do if we're really being slick? No, let's not do that. Let's turn the Vorlock back. Turn the thing back on GPS as the source, and set our course for that to 194 as we did, and we're going to be really slick here. So we can fly a hybrid slant alpha and slant golf here, or at least have it backing us up. So we're going to set that to 194, and we're going to put 110.6 in our nav 2. And we're going to be really slick here. 110.6 in nav 2. And the course for nav 2 will make 090. And watch what we're going to do here. This is so slick it will make your eyeballs ache. 090 for our course. We're going to hit second course. Boom. And that is going to display our VOR. And if we wanted to go to it and track to it, we would just hit nav source right hand side, and it will take from here. So that's how we're going to do that. Other than that, let's just do a checklist having done the flows. Okay, after engine start. And this shouldn't be a check and do. This should be a check. Okay, auto coursing on. Bus tie checked. External power off. Generators checked. Air conditioning set. Emergency lights armed. Fuel used reset. Condition levers should, according to the book, be max. And so let's put them at max, but we're going to probably taxi on less than that. We will take off on max, though. Alright, ice protection not needed. Overhead panel checked. EFIS checked. Clear signal received. After start takeoff check. After start checklist complete. So we're going to run out to here. And we're going to taxi out this way. So we're going to make a left and then a right. A left onto that taxiway, and I'm going to bring the props. You got to love those hydraulic pumps. I'm now going to bring the props actually back a bit so that we're not going crazy when we taxi here. There we go. And let's get going. This is a piece of freeware Albany scenery. It's pretty damn nice. I've got a few glitches and grumbles, but mainly that's because of my video driver and the version of Windows I'm on, which is a beta version. I've also got anti-aliasing turned way down, so you're going to get a few little artifacts, but it's all in the name of better performance. So forgive the problems like you see right here. It's only transitory. I will say this: the sounds and things are just magnificent here. Let's just check the brakes. Okay. Altimeter set and checked. Flap set. Flight instruments and radios are set and checked. Okay, done. CTOT we will set. And CTOT basically is the continuous torque yada yada thing. And what it will do is it will set a takeoff torque for us here and set it about to there to about 108%. A little bit, yeah, that's about right. And say goodbye to Albany. And we're going to taxi out to Taxiway Alpha. And I have no idea if this actually does look like Albany, but it's, as they say in X-Plane, it is a plausible representation. We're taxiing at a ground speed of about 9 knots, so that's not unheard of. We'll go a little faster. We're running SkyMax 3.3 now. And so far so good on that. We're a little bit stuttery. We've been cleared to cross. We'll check anyway. And we'll just make our way out to runway 19. We'll take note of the fact that our heading bug is right behind us, so that gives us good reason to believe that we are actually heading towards runway 19, because our tail, we are actually pointed to 010, so that's good to know. Trust but verify. If your mother says she loves you, check it out. And I love those sounds. Bring our lights down a little bit here. This airplane does not mind taxiing. It rolls very nicely on the ground. It's not so crazy about flying on takeoff, but you know, what are you going to do? Alright, we'll confirm the wind direction with our windsock right there, and it's reasonably close. An X-plane, most of the windsocks do work. Oh, look, it's deer. Look, look, look. Alright, I thought I disabled that. Oh, Bambi, stay away. Oh, Bambi burger. Alright, well, there you go. Alright, let's just go right for this one here. Doe! Oh, wait, I said doe. Alright, good. Alright, well, apparently, no real deer were harmed in the making of this, thank goodness. I thought I had a little thing to disable the deer. I know, disabling deer, that's kind of cruel, but I want to be able to be susceptible to bird strikes, but not have to worry about jackdaws in the approach path. Okay, check our flaps, turn off our ground inhibit. Stop here for 1 second. And I thought I disabled that damn screeching sound too, but I guess I have to redo that. Alright, CTOT is set. Altitude is set. Course is set. Set GPS. Navsource left. Caution panel is black. Props can come to max now. Trims are set. Let me just run the trims and make sure they work. They do. They're not unbelievably fast, but they work. Prop sync is off. Auto Corson is on. Clean bill of health here. Seatbelt sign is on. Pressurization is on auto. Fuel quantity is more than adequate. And altimeter is set. I think we're good to go. What I will do is turn off this bearing needle there. We don't need 3 things on our display, just 2. We're going to take off in heading mode and then switch, stay in heading mode and switch to climb mode for our climb out. This doesn't present a pitched up flight director. It doesn't until you get wheels off the ground, which is too bad. We check that heading is enunciating and VS is enunciating, and that's all fine. Altitude is selected, and that's fine too. Alright, we'll line up, we'll wait. We've identified the runway. And I have to get rid of that sound next time I fly this plane because it is unbelievably stupid and juvenile. So our route is going to be a climb and about a 90-degree left turn. So now what we're going to do is we will set our next thing. So our next heading is going to be 104, and this sort of principle in instrument flying is at least keep one indication of whatever your next move is going to be, and our next move is going to be to 094 there, and that will just remind us, although once we take off our flight director is going to look this way, so it will remind us too. But that will double secret remind us. So we're going to advance our power levers to above 60, and then the CTOT system will take over, and it will not be pretty because it won't advance them uniformly, but it will ultimately get them to our torque target, which is about 108%. So Notice how the auto Corson arm annunciator comes on. And notice how our flight director is now deviated. I'm holding a little bit of right rudder in here. And I'm going to rotate about now. Pretty gingerly, actually. And up we go. Pitch up to about 10 degrees, fly runway heading. Identify positive rate of climb with two measures. In this case, the altimeter and the airspeed vertical speed indicator. Bring up the gear. Hold that pitch. Start our bank. Now I'm going to switch into speed mode for the climb here. Climb mode. And our bug can be in one of three places, and you notice it cycled through all of them. And I cycled the thing until it landed at 140, which is where we happen to be. I'm just going to bring nose down ever so slightly, and I'm going to bring in our flaps. And we will now switch into nav mode, and we'll make sure it enunciates, because it's not enough to see that light up, because the light could be broken. And we are in nav mode. And we will turn towards a group. Is our first waypoint. So around we go. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pitch down ever so slightly. Let the nose come down right about to there. And I'm going to toggle my speed mode to the next speed, which is 160. And bring our props back ever so slightly, and bring our power back, because we're running our engines a little bit hot. And I just did the same thing I did the last time. I made the same stupid mistake. I forgot to turn off our CTOT. Now I can turn off our CTOT, and now I can adjust our power. Very annoying. And now I can pitch for our proper speed, and now I can bring our props down ever so slightly here. Bring our props down to about 1300. We'll raise our torque, and I will bring our power back in and accelerate. And I think about 900 and some degrees is our maximum temp. And we're enunciating climb mode, and we're at the right speed, and we seem to be on the right course, but I don't think we are. It looks like we're heading west, and we should not be. So let's take a look at where we are. Oh, I see what it's doing. Alright, well, let's go direct instead to our next waypoint, which is on deck, and do a little shortcut, because it's wanting us to basically fly the whole procedure, and we don't want to. So let's go to not like that. See what I mean? I hate this. Like that. And go to menu and choose activate leg, and there it is to on deck. And now we can fly the Q, and we're over the mighty Hudson River, and we're looking good. We can turn our auto Corson off. I can turn our seatbelt signs off. We're in clear air. We can intercept our new heading. fly the flight director here, keeping an eye on our other instruments, and just having a ball with this airplane. We're actually getting reasonably good performance. I have to stop doing that stupid thing with the CTOT. I do it every single time. Alright, get ourselves established. Every time I do it. And we'll increase our climb. There we go, to 180. Let's see if we can perform to that standard. Make sure gear and flaps are up, and they are. Make sure our engines are not frying, and they're not. Get a little bit more performance out of them, because we can. And accelerate. And I'm just hand flying this thing as easy as you please. This is easy peasy, lemon squeezy. It is not difficult, lemon difficult. It presents you with a flight director. It presents you with a deviation indicator. It's actually a nice set of instruments. I'll just pitch down for a little more speed. Right about there. The plane performs magnificently. There's no other way to describe it. It really, really, really does. And let's bring our temps up, our torque up a little bit more. Let's see if we can get a little skosh more power. Let's bring our props back just below 1300. And I'm not kidding you, I could fly this all the livelong day. I'm just doing this with fingertips. You should try it sometime. It is so much fun. We're not getting great performance. Now we can see our flight director is where it should be. Our HSI is where it should be. We are looking really, really good. We're not exactly climbing like a bat out of hell, though, but give us a little turn. I'm glancing at my airspeed indicator, and I'm not flying precisely the speed bug, which is why you notice that our airplane is slightly above the guidance bars, and that's because I'm pitching up a little bit more than I would need to hit this bug, which is why you see that our speed is right there. So there is that. Other thing is that my controls need a little bit of aileron trim, but that's just my controls. That's not the airplane. Alright, we'll do the flight sim thing and turn off our lights. Okay. We'll do the more important thing and check our pressurization, and it is fine. Take a look at where we are. And we'll also see that we are inbound to Gardner VOR just perfectly. We're over, I guess, the Berkshires. We should probably check local altimeter, but since I want to hand fly this whole shebang here, let's just not and say we did. Still in the climb. Hard to believe as it is. Matter of fact, let me just pitch and see if I can get a little more performance out of this. Hold it about there. I got a plain old tailwind, so nothing remarkable. Tell you what, this thing does not exactly perform. See if I can get a little more torque out of this. Let's come up to about 900 and some degrees. There we go. That'll get us a little bit. That's kind of embarrassing. I do have a lot of fuel on board. Oh look, it's weather. That's SkyMax for X-Plane. I'm going to hold 10 degrees. Let me just see what we can do. Just wait till it's done loading. There we go. Okay, so I'll hold 10 degrees pitch. Oh, come on. Stop loading. Please. Alright, there we go. Trim up a little bit. Alright. How far away are we, even? 66 miles to J Fund, which is the beginning of our star. And actually, the parameters in the star actually want us to be even higher than we're going to be, so we're really only following the star laterally. No more than that. In any case, let's get our localizer tuned in, get our approach briefed. And for the moment, at least, I'm just going to turn on our autopilot. It's going to pitch us down a little bit. It's pitching us for this speed, but I'm just going to slow us down a bit. I'll bring our speed back to there. Set IAS mode. All right. Let's leave that for 1 second. Take a look outside. A little bit of rendering going on here. Sorry about that. Alright, up we go. Let's make sure we've armed our altitude, and we have. Alright, our localizer is 110.3, 216. I'll get that set. Three, 216, and set it on the other side. That way we'll have a picture of it even if we're on GPS navigation. Alright, 216. Get that set up here. Alright, 1,000 to go. One six, there we go, and two, 1, 6 on both sides. Got it there, got it there. And we're going to ignore the message calling for us to sync up our course here because it does it automatically, so there's no reason to. Alright, we need to be at 3,000 feet by Nole. Okay. Make sure it levels us off. Nice to meet you. Nice to know you. Nice to meet your Noel. Don't say Noel. I said Noel. Nole, lore, lore. Alright. Just the normal Austin Powers reference that comes at this point in any flight. Waiting for it to level us off. Yes. No. Enunciating that it's acquired altitude, and how do you like that? Alright, we're cruising so we can turn on our prop sync. First thing we have to do is get our props within 10 RPM of each other, or they won't sync at all. Done. And now let's get our asses moving if we possibly can. Jack this up right about to there. Alright, that's about as close as you can humanly get without those lights lighting up, and that's about as fast as we can get, so let's see how we do. Also, let's bug up our speed for our arrival. Descend at as fast as we humanly can. I'll do that right about, bug it up to about 230. We'll descend in IAS mode, and we are how far away? Turn our little panel lights up here. I'll turn those down and these up. It really is a miracle of lighting and textures and things. This airplane is really, really good in that respect. Alright, it's just asking us to set a course, but as you can see, it already syncs us up, so there's something, it just doesn't agree. Alright, our next waypoint is on deck. So Noli is 85 away, and we have to go down to, what did we say, 3? We have to go down 12, so we need to start 40 miles out. And we're right now 84 miles out, so we're 44 miles away from TOD. Not a problem. We'll get local altimeter right now, and let's see what we're over. Probably closest to about Fitchburg, maybe Gardner. We get some weather, Bueller. Alright, we got a little, we have an AWAS, what do we got? 3014, and Boston, we've got 3015. Also, there's a temporary flight restriction in effect over Fenway Park because apparently ball games are national security risks or something. So we'll set 3014 in here, and it will descend us a little bit. There we go. And we'll set our standby 3015 so we remember it. Take a look at our temps. They are in the yellow, but we're gonna, as Rich at Flight Sim 481 says, we are going to thrape the engines hard. I don't know what thraping is, but that's kind of ugly sounding. Can't be good. Unless you buy her dinner first. Let's find out what thraping is. It's an interesting verb. The things you do in cruise. Let's play cruise vocabulary. Alright, go to Merriam-Webster and see if Miriam knows. I don't know if she knows. Thrape. It's probably an English word. British, English. I don't even know if I'm spelling it right. Alright, can't even find it. Doesn't exist. No, I don't know if it exists or not. Rich would not make up something like that. And it sounds like what it means. It means to thrash the shit out of, I'm guessing. Alright, so we are inbound Gardner. Or on deck, which is coincident with Gardner. 19 miles away. Remember, we want to start our descent at 40 from Nole. And we'll just do the whole thing manually, because why the hell not? Make sure everything is copacetic up here. It all is. And make sure we still have cabin pressure, and how do you like that? We still do. Make sure our caution panel is still clear, and it still is. See if we've briefed our approach. Let's set our MDA. I think there's a radio altimeter somewhere on this thing, but I can't find it. But we're going to set a decision altitude, which is going to be 216 feet. Okay. Bug that up. Oh. There's a radio altimeter test. So where's the radio altimeter? Alright, well, we will set a decision altitude in a second. It's not enunciating anywhere. The damn thing is spinning around, though. I don't see it enunciating. Alright, let's see. Ah, this is interesting. I have now officially screwed something up. And I don't know what I've screwed up. I've popped us into VLOC mode. Okay, now we're in the right mode. Little mode selector problem there. Alright. And let's display our second course. That's fine, and that is our localizer. And I'm not even going to mess with this because I don't know what it is. But I'm trying to get our decision height to display, and the knob is spinning around, and we're not getting anything on either of the instruments. Push. Turn. Nope. Nothing. Alright. Well, we'll make a mental note that we have a decision altitude of 216 feet. And we'll figure it out. We're making nice progress here. We're going at 270 knots over the ground, which is great. And we're inbound to on deck, and we're almost there, as a matter of fact. We're 54 from Nole, so we're 14 miles away from our TOD. we have our descent speed bugged up, and we're going to aim for a descent speed of, since we're going to be going about 280 over the ground, of about 1,400 feet per minute. Okay, we're turning towards Nole. Towards J Fund, actually. Alright, 11 miles from TOD. Again, we're going to be looking for about 1,400 feet per minute. Pretty much when we get to J Fund, we're going to start to go down. I'm also going to activate our approach, because it's going to fly us right to Nole. And I've got our localizer bugged up here. And our turn at Nole is going to be, we're going to go to 214. I'll get that set up. Well, actually, it's going to be an intercept heading, so it's going to be about like that. Clear that message. Boom. Get our map up. Okay, about 6 miles to go before we start going down. Since we're going to be hand flying, let's just get this all taken care of. Leave our auto coursing off for a little bit. And I do believe that's Boston up there. We're going to fly to the north of it. So, let's go flying in a second. Set our altitude first of all down to 3,000. It can be our platform altitude. All right. And we are now inbound to Nole. And so, what we'll do is we will take out our autopilot. And we'll roll off the power. And we'll pop into IAS mode. And down we go. We're going to look for about 1,400 feet per minute. I'll pitch down a little bit. Right about there. Just retrim. Get a little more power in. There we go. Let's turn the yaw damper back on here. Give us a little bit of a cheat here. Okay. And actually, I should pitch down quite a bit. Right about to there. That's where we want to be. And this thing flies beautifully. It does exactly what you tell it to do. And I'm going to roll up our speed bug here. What happened was it captured our speed as soon as we hit IAS mode, so I'm just going to bug up our speed a little bit to about there. So we're going to come powering in here. Because why the hell not? Let's get some speed going. There we go. A little bit more. I'm descending a little bit faster than I should, but it will start to rise up again. Okay, there's the field over there. Have a little fun here. Okay, that's about the rate of speed we need to be coming down, and that's about the airspeed we need to be going. Just going to turn our prop sync off while I still remember. It's going to make it a little noisier for the passengers, but they paid for the e-ticket ride, didn't they? Alright, we are inbound to Noli. We're descending at about the right rate of speed. Got a rather abrupt turn to our localizer, but that's okay. Just keep us coming down though. There we go. We are 5 minutes from Noli, and we are 7,000 above it, so we're going to get there. And we're going to come cooking in. This is as fast as we're going to go. Only way to go fast in this plane is to put it into a dive. And again, it's just a peach to hand fly. No two ways about it. It's wonderful. We're loading scenery here. Please pardon the interruption. Alright, we're 4 minutes away from Noli, and we're 9,300 above. Let's come down with a little bit more dispatch here. Basically, I'm just keeping an eye on my airspeed, eye on my flight director, and an eye on my vertical speed indicator, and using the throttle and my pitch to hit all those targets. Trimming a little bit so I don't have to work very hard. Come off the power a little bit. Our airspeed increases as we get lower because the air gets thicker. So roll off a little power here, stay below 250, and down we go. And a beautiful day in Boston. I'm going to set local altimeter, well, to 3015. It is, so that's cool. Passenger signs are on. Auto Corson can come on. In a second, I'll bring our props up. Alright, we're 2.5 minutes away, and we are 3,600 feet above. So we're a little bit high, but nothing fatal. But we are going to slow now, so let's slow, rebug our speed to 175. That's going to be the speed we eventually slow down to more than anything else. And the other thing I am going to do is get us into switch our nav mode here. Okay, there's our localizer. And get rid of our second course, we don't need it. There's our intercept heading. I'm going to go into heading mode because we just blew through. No, we blew through a false localizer, if I had to guess. So I'm just going to fly a base leg here. Okay, we're 2200 above, slowing, retrimming. Yeah, that was a false lobe of the localizer. Get into nav mode now. And nav mode is armed. And down we come. And we're on an intercept heading. And let's just bring our speed down and bring our props forward to max. There we go. That will get us some drag. And we will level off right here. Turn our yaw damper off. Done. And wait for the localizer to come in. Just going to trim up right now because that will automatically slow us down. And I'm just going to nestle in, set our heading for runway heading, and we'll get in our first stage of flaps, bring in some power, and in a second our localizer will come in. There we go. We will turn on to our localizer, and we've acquired our altitude, and let's arm our approach also. We're just slightly above the glide slope, so let's let ourselves come down as we get established on the localizer. There we go. Okay, come gear down, a little bit to the left of the localizer. Got a little bit of a crosswind from our left, so we'll just let that do its work naturally. Okay, a lot of trimming here. All of a sudden the weather deteriorates. There we go. Get a little bit of juice going here. Auto Courson is armed. Okay. Rest of the flaps. And we are on profile, just a little bit fast and a little bit high. Trying to trim up a little bit. And that crosswind is doing its little magic to us. A little bit to the right. Correct just slightly. A little bit of a crab going. Looking good. Descending at about the right speed. And Be a little more nose up here. It gets a little bit wallowy. Alright, there is the runway. We can turn off our autopilot, turn off our flight director, and fly the airplane. And I'm going to try valiantly to grease this one on. It has almost no pitch authority at this speed, I've just discovered. But do we care? Of course we don't care. Get a little crab going. Almost flat in our approach right here. I am trimming up as much as a human being can trim up, and pulling back much as a human being can pull back. Yeah, it's a little bit of a rough balance here. Just fighting a crosswind. There we go. All right, that was our first good landing in this airplane. And we can make this turn off. You know, it's not supposed to stop on the runway. Alright, that's a bug. That is clearly a bug. It's not coming out of beta is what's happening. Or the auto-coursen is auto-coursening inappropriately. Because now, look at this. Now we're going like a frickin' hot rod here. That's not right. Alright, we're going to get very quick clearance to cross right here because we're going very fast. But until that little unfortunate mishap, we seem to have been doing okay, and I hope they can fix that in the update. But you want to see that again? Let's give it a look. We're not going to get the sound. Apparently that doesn't work. But that looks pretty damn good. I will say that much. Alright, so there's our replay. There's our tower view. This is, of course, Mr. X's amazing Logan Airport. And he does more than just the airport. He does ortho for around it and city building objects and bridges, and it's just awesome. Alright, that is just as pretty as a goddamn picture. Look at that. Although I don't mean to boast, but I am warm as toast on this one. How many feet per minute was that? That was pretty decent. About 100 feet per minute. That looks pretty damn good. That is just the right aspect to be. As a matter of fact, that's a little bit much. Look at that. Oh, look at that. That is pretty goddamn slick. All right, let's just... See, it does the rolling sounds, but you don't get the custom sounds, which is too bad. All right, we'll do the fabulous Hawaii 5-0 shot. And we're going to take the displaced threshold out of the equation. We'll get it right on the threshold. There we go. Smack it right down on the ground. All right. Let's give it a look. I ask you, and look at that crosswind correction there. And look at those birds there. They're everywhere. All right. Not bad, except for the stopping in the middle of the runway part. We'll get that figured out. And the odd prop defeathering on one side part, but again, we'll get that worked out too. In any case, we get ourselves cleaned up here. I want to thank you for watching, and I want to encourage you to fly this airplane and encourage you to support Mr. X6 and GPB 500 and just have a lot of fun with this if you can. And I think our next flight, what are we going to do? I don't know where we're going to go. Might go up to Maine. And of course we're going to continue our around the world journey. And in the meantime, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all your comments, all your feedback. I am learning a lot from everything people send in. So keep them coming. And I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.